What happens to military parachutes when they're no longer in flying condition? The lucky ones end up at HEAVENDROPt. It's a Largo nonprofit that employs injured veterans and workers with disabilities to turn discarded parachutes into backpacks and other accessories. For the amazing men and women of HEAVENDROPt, the sky's the limit.
I'm Robbie Groover. I'm the National Director of Sales and Innovation for Evergreen Life Services, which is the parent nonprofit for HEAVENDROPt. So HEAVENDROPt, we're a nonprofit. We support employment opportunities for people with disabilities. We make cool, unique items out of military parachute. So we have pet bandanas, we have backpacks, we have tote bags, we have purses, pouches, bracelets, necklaces, and we just launched our hammock. HEAVENDROPt actually got started in 2013. Our CEO, Sue Buchholz of Evergreen Life Services, was touring an Air Force base and she saw the parachute room. And she asked the question of what happens to these parachutes. And they said, well, we get rid of them, we burn them, we send them to recycling facilities. And she came up with the idea, the concept, where we can employ the persons with disabilities within Evergreen Life Services to make these cool products out of military parachutes. So there's a lot of instances where parachutes rip, they get tattered, they get worn out. When the military deems them non-combat ready, they send them to a recycling facility where I take ownership of it. So people love the story. I mean, to be able to touch a fabric that tells a story from the person that jumped in combat and training operations all over the world to the person we employ with disabilities that puts their heart and soul into making each individual product one of a kind.
I'm actually sight impaired. I have glaucoma and cataracts, and I work a lot by shadow. I don't see a lot of detail. I need help threading machines and really small, intricate things. And so when I'm trying to design a pattern, I always keep in mind that not everyone has my specific disability. Maybe they will have a physical disability, but their eyes work really good. Or maybe they're deaf, and I have to communicate with them on how to do something. So when I design a pattern, I always keep that in mind.
Today I was helping to put the string on a new backpack that we have. Because of my disability, I have cerebral palsy, and I've had it since birth. Because of the cerebral palsy, I have a hard time with things that have to do with fine motor. So as I'm sure you could see in the video, I was struggling with my hands a little bit. But I always enjoy doing things like that because it makes me better, and it makes my fine motor better.
It's a little trickier than just buying material and putting something together. My grandmother was a master seamstress in Los Angeles back in the 30s and 40s. And my mother would sew on the machine, and she taught me on my grandmother's machine how to sew. Working with parachutes is a little different. They are all different textures. They have lots of stitches and seams in them, and I have to learn how to work around the actual parachute because it's not a strip of material, it's like upcycling.
Last year we were actually able to work a contract, a third-party contract, to become the main recycling facility for military parachutes, which is very exciting because now we process around 38,000 pounds of military parachutes quarterly. So right now we house about 100,000+ pounds of military parachutes. We have parachutes that date back from World War II, the Korean War, Vietnam. We have parachutes that come from F-16 fighter jet ejection harnesses. I mean, it's all around. It's inspiring, but ultimately if we didn't purchase these parachutes, they'd be burned, they'd end up in landfills. And I mean, we have Korean War parachutes that you may never see again, except in a museum. I like to say that these walls hold a lot of history.
Today I'll be making our parachute strap keychain. We're currently taking out an order to send it to Honolulu, Hawaii. I really love working with the parachutes because it's familiar, things that I had in the Army. And I get to work with Robbie because we deployed together. We deployed in 2012, and I was medically discharged due to my injuries in Afghanistan in 2014. Absolutely, it has a sense of purpose with it, and that's one of the things that we like to share here. Is it's giving back purpose, whether it's somebody with intellectual or developmental disability, or a disabled veteran, or somebody with just a disability. Sometimes people can overlook you, and you kind of you don't have a purpose. So being here, absolutely, the people that we serve gives me a purpose, and I'm way better off for it.
I am Miss Wheelchair Florida 2019. That's crazy to say, but And we don't call ourselves a pageant specifically, we call ourselves a competition. And that is because we are all about advocacy. This place is a big part of who I am. They are the reason why I'm successful, and they are the reason why I'm Miss Florida Wheelchair. They helped me. I love them, and I love HEAVENDROPt, and I honestly, truthfully couldn't think of a better place to work.
To learn more, go to heavendropt.org.